March 10, 1952, Fulgencio Batista was appointed leader of Cuba. Previous to his reign, he was an army sergeant and had his way in the Cuban government for a while. He fixed certain presidential candidates to be appointed and influenced major changes for Cuba behind the scenes that ensured a more conservative government for Cuba. Batista's persistence in making sure that the military came first influenced much of the organized crime that littered the government and the streets of Cuba.
Fidel Castro, a lawyer with a passion for Cuba, was born at his father's farm on August 13, 1926. When he was 6 years old, Castro was sent to live with his teacher in Santiago de Cuba and was baptized into the Roman Catholic Church. Castro began studying law at the University of Havana in 1945. On July 26, 1953, Fidel Castro led an attack on the Moncada barracks.
La historia me absolverá.
Fidel Castro sparked an inevitable revolution, and his speech was heard across Cuba. However, he was still arrested. When Fidel got out of jail, his brother and one of his general sergeants bought a yacht and used it to travel the Gulf of Mexico so they could launch the revolution. The country was still in mayhem, and organized crime was still a significant problem for Cuba. So, people looked at Fidel Castro as a hero and a savior for Cuba. Fidel Castro led another attack in July of 1958 called the Battle of La Plata, but this time, Batista's army was waiting. They were beaten. Fidel lost about 500 men in the field. However, the survivors of the battle went to a nearby town called Sierra Maestra and rounded up civilians to rebuild their army. After the carnage of the Battle of La Plata, the rebel army attacked again under an operation called Operation Verano. This battle was called the Battle of Mercedes. On August 8, 1958, the rebel forces were forced into agreed-upon ceasefire. Castro saw this as a victory. Another battle commenced on December 19, 1958, called the Battle of Yaguaje. It was a triumphant rebel victory. The rebel forces advanced on Santa Clara immediately after declaring a victory at the Battle of Yaguaje.
Santa Clara! Santa Clara!
Fidel Castro was declared leader of Cuba, and the citizens were satisfied and hopeful.
La revolución empieza ahora.
Batista was in shame. His position as dictator was lost, and his country was being overthrown by radicals.
Fidel Castro finally became the leader of Cuba. He promised Cuba a lot of things.
Este no es un país comunista. Las guerrillas ha prevalecido.
However, the country was still in ruins, and in fact, it got even worse. There was organized crime, the economy collapsed, and there was poverty everywhere.
I hate Fidel Castro!
I hate Fidel!
So was it really worth it?
Maya.
Fucking damn fall. Why do you have to sit?
Casually. Then you're like, I know.
It was like one of those.
The more you learn, that's the point. He's good at it. The more you know.
Ready? And action. Go!
Santa Claus!
Now pause. Go.
And things like if I was an NGP, they would mark me wrong.
You fucked up. You fucked up.
Scheiße.